Some movies are just like painful to watch. Attack of the Clones, released in 2002, directed by George Lucas. Production budget of $115 million, a worldwide total of $653 million, for a profit of $538. Less all marketing and associated costs. Starring Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Hayden Christensen, Christopher Lee, and Ian McDiarmid. Okay, so this movie. We'll start with the good stuff and then get into, well, everything else. Cool stuff: Jango Fett, Planet Kamino and the Cloning Factory, all the different Jedi, Count Dooku, and the visuals for like 90% of this film. All that stuff was really quite cool, especially the visual stuff and the world building, actually. The visual appeal and the world building. That was done really well. I really like that. I've used so much of it in my Star Wars RPG games. Going to the nightclub, going to the equivalent of a diner, different sets, locations, all that sort of cool stuff. I liked that. Unfortunately, that wasn't the majority of the film. That isn't the part that sticks in your brain. The bits that stay with you are the bits that don't work so well. A chief among that is the dialogue and the wooden delivery of said dialogue. There are parts of this movie that's like a thumbtack through a toenail. It's just bad. The writing and the script in general, it has moments of good stuff. It's got moments of shiny, cool stuff. Then everything else is just a train wreck. The romance angle in this, anything between Anakin and Padme, yeah, just I don't like it. I don't like it. It hurts. It's painful to watch. Just not good. I mean, Natalie Portman is a really good actress. Really, really good. And Hayden Christensen, I've seen him in quite a few things, He's not actually this bad. I mean, he's not fantastic. He's not Natalie Portman level, but he's not this bad. If it's dialogue between Anakin and Padme, or it's anything on Naboo, skip it. Just fast forward or skip. You know what? Because it just sucks. It's terrible. I've got so many notes about what makes me cross. This would be a 20-minute video of me just yelling. Another thing I got down here is a super convoluted plot. Ridiculously and needlessly complicated. I don't even know if that's accurate, but it felt that way. Mainly because you had to see through the fog of bored actors delivering bad lines. I mean, there were good bits in here, and that's a real shame, because the good bits are seriously eclipsed, overshadowed, annihilated. Why was it just why? I think this is what happens when, there's absolute control over the writer, who's also the director and the producer. There was no one to say, hey man, that kind of stinks. Do you want someone else to have a go? Or, hey, how about we all look at this script and let's give it a bit of a polish? There's no one to do that, because it was all George. He was the whole show. He financed it, he wrote it, he directed it, and he produced. So what does that tell me? This movie tells me that he's a brilliant visionary, incredibly creative, a fantastic producer, but shouldn't be allowed to write anything, and at best should be a part of a two-man directing team. I think Jango Fett and his son are the perfect example, actually, of what broke about this film. Visually speaking, look at Jango Fett, look at his ship, look at the whole thing, the lore, the backstory, everything they've done for Jango Fett and Boba Fett. Fantastic. I love it. I'm really impressed with that. Then you go to the acting scenes, particularly in a chase sequence in a ship, and you've got it all looking good, and then this kid making terrible lines and saying stupid things, and acting just doesn't fit the sequence. And yet that was called a good cut and made it into the movie. I don't get it. This is the one when people say that they don't like the prequel trilogy. This is the movie that I go, yes, this one. This is the one that beat up my inner fanboy. It's because of this one that I almost didn't bother seeing the third. The only good thing to come out of this movie, to be quite honest, is the Clone Wars animated series. That was amazing. Quite frankly, brilliant in every possible aspect. And so, because of that, I am somewhat thankful for the Clone Wars. However, it's still at the very bottom. And this is probably the very last time I'll be watching this movie, because I really don't like doing it. So there we go. There's my review of episode 2. I hope I didn't upset anyone too much. And I hope that you have a very good week and should get some time to watch a movie.